MAGA is going to be played to make Israel great again.
What if all of them are just part of the game?
Wow.
So 2 points.
Look at what Shawn Ryan said he did before he blew up. He said that he was a drug trafficker. Ryan's like, we have the most badass warriors on this show every week. Yeah, well, I think it's really important to expose this fraudulent CIA adjacent podcast.
What we are living in today, the Lex Friedman, the Joe Rogan, the Shawn Ryan, what if all of them were just part of the game? That's all I'm saying. What if all of them are just part of the game?
I've gotten to know Shawn pretty well.
Maybe you got played, bro.
All right, this is getting dicey, my friends. Matt Kim, who's friends with Shawn Ryan, Max Blumenthal, who's a leftist, coming out saying, so many words, is Shawn Ryan's podcast just a CIA, jam it down your head, believe it, or else deal? I mean, what do you, let's go, let's take a gander.
We exchange children's pictures, etc.
Watch this. I mean, this is the fakest thing I've ever seen.
There's no difference between Taliban and Al-Qaeda. Their ideology is identical. They're two sides of the same coin.
That Shawn Ryan did after he went in hiding to avoid accountability for what he did before with the manifesto and the hidden email. He says we only allow pros in here. We're not allowing just trolls. We're only allowing, and it's just a bunch of veterans and former contractors talking about how their buddies in this 3-letter agency told them about this or that threat, and it's coming down the pike.
Veteran biker turned me on to this. It's a fucking interesting timeline. These guys are pissed because they are journalists. They don't like Shawn Ryan's work, and they're leftist. I mean, look at the history of Max Blumenthal. His dad was in the Clinton administration. Not sure if I'm going to get to all the Matt Kim, sorry. I'll link to it. He's pretty fair-minded. He's friends with Shawn. Is he CIA? It's an interesting take. I mean, golly, because Shawn went from, remember, anti-gravitic drones, CCP, launched from submarines, real email, to Romania, I'm stopping World War III in NATO. Now that we're on to NATO, Romania now, right? I'm just trying to keep up as a consumer. I'm like you. I'm not SF, not Green Beret Bro. I'm not on the spaces. I don't know anything about that. I'm just a dude playing a dude, doing a dude.
That's all they do, and no one holds each other accountable because they're all in on the same grift. But it's very consequential,
right? Because
you have a traumatized audience who are being told to call their congressman and freak out.
They're harnessing the QAnon level of analytical depth, which is what I think Shawn Ryan's audience is.
I have an awesome deal for you guys. Response to Attack Right are offering what they claim to be military-grade night vision at an incredible price today. Say what I use it for? Looking at these guys at night looking for calves. Similar device usually sell for thousands of dollars. However, they are able to get it to you for an incredible price of under $200, and they have activated 50% off for your viewers today. All you have to do is click on the link in the description and grab the Attack Right night vision today. They're ready to ship it to you in stock from New York. One bad thing, I don't know how long it will remain in stock. This is a hot-selling product for the upcoming holiday season. It's an amazing gift for anyone who loves outdoors, hunting, fishing, and just cool gadgets. Get your military-grade night vision. Grab yours today. These won't last long. Visit www.myinfluencerdeals.com/Jamesons.
It's really lowest common denominator. That includes people who are in the service, by the way.
Got it. So everyone who watches Shawn Ryan is a troglodyte moron, and these guys know better. When you've been lied to so much by our own government, you go, this could be 51 intel experts, a laptop, weapons of mass destruction. Then you ask questions, and they go, shut up, QAnon.
Shawn Ryan's like, we have the most badass warriors on this show every week. We got a guy from Afghanistan who's going to tell you what's really going on.
Yeah. I mean, these guys are so desperate to be back in work again because a lot of these people made all their bank during the war on terror.
Let me get this right. So what they're saying is that Shawn Ryan, the crew around him, all the experts on the Twitter space, are part of the war machine. Now, Shawn took the email, ran with it, was the truth, and now it's been proven not to be anti-gravitic drones, or at least that's the story. Right? FBI confirmed email. Let's just go with that. He's off it now, Romania. So did this ruin Shawn's credibility, or is it a reason for mainstream media? There's a question for you. Is the reason for mainstream media to attack the podcast sphere? And these guys are part of it? I think the answer is yes, right? We can't have Shawn having this much influence. Who's we? the big apparatus mainstream media can't have Shawn and Rogan and all these people having this much influence, can they? No, absolutely not.
Guys in that community are talking up Afghanistan.
Yeah, well, I think it's really important to expose this fraudulent CIA adjacent podcast because it really shows us where things are going under Trump.
Right now, we're funneling money into Ukraine and a proxy war against Russia. I mean, Biden, right? Throwing money at it. These guys are saying that Trump wants a gin up war against Afghanistan. You pick it. Am I saying Trump's to do that? We don't know what he's going to do in this term. Let's be clear on that. We have no idea. You can have guys wanting to gin it up. Doesn't mean Trump's going to push it. That we don't know. So these dick faces don't know what they're talking about, or they're just alleging, right?
So this show is like one of the top psyops, and they had Pete Hegseth on, the incoming defense secretary, if he gets confirmed. They had him on recently to rant against DEI in the military. They're close.
So they're saying Shawn Ryan's show is a psyop. Is Shawn actively participating in their terms, their words, by the psyop? I don't think so. Could he be taking the bait and going down the path? I guess, right? I mean, what the hell's going on here?
To the possible next defense secretary, and they're running this giant propaganda ploy for a new war on terror, and they are complete fraudsters to the point where I would even question what this lady actually did in the CIA.
This is a game, James.
Look at what Shawn Ryan said he did before he blew up. He said that he was a drug trafficker.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Former SEAL said he was a drug trafficker. He was on Megyn Kelly's show. I'd built quite the drug trafficking network down there in Colombia, he said. I got tipped off that federal police, I should say it in his voice, I got tipped off that federal police were surveilling me, so I abruptly left the country. And then he talks about how he was like geeking out on whatever he could put up his nose, Valium, Xanax, Loperidone, Ambien,
My chair with me in it?
hydrocodone, Oxycontin, Tramadol, whatever you.
This Max's reporter can't speak well. He actually referred to Shawn as a Green Beret at one point.
Washed down to shut the brain down. And then he became like a major drug trafficker. And now he's back and he's like this Trump ally, CIA adjacent, #1 podcaster in America who somehow gets to finesse the manifesto of the Cybertruck bomber out to the public without providing the actual email or any metadata. What we've been talking about for the last hour and 15 minutes is how MAGA is going to be played to make Israel great again, bring in a new war on terror, and usher in a techno-feudal oligarchy. And that's why I wanted to talk about this with you.
Wow. MAGA's going to be played for Israel, techno-feudal oligarchy. I don't know. Some of the points on both, we'll get to Matt Kim in a minute, you could agree with. This guy, the take here from this guy works at BuzzFeed, Max, New York Times. He's a leftist, of course. Some of the takes are interesting. Let's call it that. The drug network, I guess we don't talk about that. No one does. It's odd to admit that, right? Would you ever admit that? I sure as fuck wouldn't.
Our friend, Shawn Ryan.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up. Let's talk about it.
Disclaimer. I know Shawn. We've met Shawn. I know Shawn extremely well. Yeah. It's a person I trust. I think he's an honest, genuine person.
Okay.
He could be a CIA plant. And just hear me out. Those guys are trained to lie, man. They're trained to live a life that is completely disconnected from reality. And
I think these guys are mixing and matching a little bit. He's not a CIA officer. He didn't go to the farm. He was GRS, so a contractor protecting CIA officers. In Yemen, I understand it, Afghanistan, right? So I don't know that he's Jason Bourne trained. That doesn't mean, maybe I'm not missing something, obviously. I'm not a podcaster, but let's keep going.
they are able to somehow deal with the dissonance of this abstraction of who they really are and be able to keep that front with such consistency that you would never know the deeper seated. He's a psyop himself. He's a plant. He's controlled opposites. I'm not saying any of that. Okay. All I'm saying is we do know one fact to be true. He was ex-CIA. Fact. So if we go on that fact alone,
He's a contractor for the CIA, not actual CIA.
Most of them are contractors.
Most of them, yeah. The contractors do all the dirty work. They do all that. They all do the wet work.
I love all these wet work. I watch too much television, right? That's what it sounds like. All the wet work. I mean, Shawn, let's be clear. Shawn's job was to protect the CIA safe house for CIA officers. That was his job, unless I'm missing something. Maybe there's something else that I'm missing beyond that.
So could it not be that years ago, maybe a decade ago, they
got tapped on the shoulder.
CNN's dying, mainstream media is dying. We see the rise of these Rogan-esque type of personalities, right? Daily Wire's coming into itself, right? We saw these alternative. We saw Louder with Crowder, right? Things were moving a decade ago, right? They were just started, and man, the amount of planning. I would not put it behind them, Matt, that what we are living in today, the Lex Friedman.
Why wouldn't they do it? Who's they, to be specific? The elite class, the leadership class. They're referring to the CIA, but why wouldn't they do it? Is it Operation Mockingbird? All the IC community inside of Hollywood, the media. Why wouldn't they go after podcasters, up-and-comers? Of course they would. I don't think this is a reach. I'm not trying to be Captain Obvious, but of course they would do it. But does that mean Shawn Ryan's who they did it to?
The Joe Rogan, the Shawn Ryan.
Right.
What if all of them were just part of the game? That's all I'm saying.
I love that.
What if all of them are just part of the game?
Wow.
So 2 points. One is that I've gotten to know Shawn pretty well. We exchange children's pictures, etc. So if he is a CIA plant, then I am a mark.
No, you'd be a CIA asset. So this is a good podcast. These two guys, it's interesting. It's fanciful. It's good entertainment. Everybody could be CIA at this point based on what I'm seeing in the news. Do people want to control the news, what's presented? I mean, Shawn's video was Sam Shoemate. Goes nowhere unless YouTube allows it, right? They promote it. That's how this works. Does that mean he's CIA? No. But YouTube definitely pushed it. It's one of his better videos, the top 5 in history, Shawn's channel. Does that mean anything? No, it's just promoted by the algorithm.
And I'd be pretty upset about that.
Well,
because I've gotten to know him really well.
yeah, as you should be, though. And I'm not trying to espouse any fake emotions here, but like you maybe you got played, bro. I mean, let's do another example. Let's do 2 more.
Okay.
You went and saw Andrew Tate.
Well, that's all I'm gonna say. Andrew Tate, father was with the CIA.
So bad to say it, bro.
A guy that we've known very well.
Right.
Tucker Carlson.
I was the second.
Father worked for the CIA. Another guy we know very well.
And another one.
Shawn Ryan literally worked for the CIA. A guy we know very well. Shawn Ryan gets this letter, and then on Sunday he holds this spaces on X, and they have all these experts come onto the spaces. And we're going to get to the bottom of this.
I didn't find many experts in the spaces. I listened to the 2 hours. And Matt's got a good point here. I'll shut up here in a second. Experts in what? Alpha's Matt Leibelsberger's friend. I go, okay. We had the FBI person, useful. Everybody else, I don't know they add any value to the space.
To tell what's going on. And they spend 2 hours talking about their credentials and why they're important. And why they believe that this letter is real and what's going on. They did not talk one time about these drones coming out of the water and that are going to attack everyone that has 0-point energy and has anti-gravity technology. They don't talk about it one time.
What a letdown.
And I'm thinking like, that's actually the most important part of that letter, that most interesting part of the letter.
Yeah, because in the letter, he's basically saying that we have been compromised. Our security apparatus has been completely compromised.
So I'm thinking, what was the point of this spaces? What's actually the point of them proving that this letter is real? To say that we talked to the terrorist, or we talked to him, or he's not a terrorist? Like, that's actually the least important part.
Now, Matt Kim here. His podcast is pretty good on this. You may disagree, but I thought that was interesting. The content of the letter was misinterpreted, right? I mean, I think we all can admit now that Matthew Leibelsberger had a mental breakdown and whacked himself. That'd be the obvious. 10 out of 10 people would say, yeah, that's probably what happened, not the drones flying over the White House, unlimited payload shit. Check out these podcasts. Link below. The Max Blumenthal, Matt Kim, veteran biker, gave me the links for this. He turned me on to this. Is Shawn moved on. Shawn pivoted. He's in Romania. Went down there, saving us from World War III. That's what's going on. Big video coming out. this is off the table. We never talked about the New Orleans guy at all. He was just low tier. Nobody talked about that at all. I have so many opinions. I think we're chasing around shiny objects, and we're missing the point. Meanwhile, China bends us over the table. It's pouring it to us. We're talking about Russia and giving money to Ukraine. Seems like we're, a little off here. Thanks for watching.